Hi everyone, thanks for clicking on the video. This one's going to be a kind of a special video for me. It won't be my normal content and normal format. And that is because it's my 1 year anniversary of starting my YouTube channel. It's kind of a big deal for me. And I wanted to talk about YouTube in general, not so much specifically about my channel, although I will refer to my channel quite a bit. I could talk for hours about YouTube. I won't. I'm going to try to limit myself. You can see I've got myself a little handy dandy little stopwatch here that I'm going to keep an eye on, and I've got an agenda. If you see me looking down, I'll try to stick to the agenda. But again, it's been 1 year since I joined YouTube as a creator or opened my channel, and it's been great. I've loved every minute of it. It was just what I was looking for. It's a hobby. I'm definitely not a full-time YouTuber, nor would I want to be. But again, I wanted to take the opportunity of just kind of reviewing. I certainly haven't learned it all. There's a lot for me to learn, but compared to where I was a year ago, I have made leaps and bounds. So from a technology standpoint, a year ago I knew nothing about cameras, any of the technology that it takes to put out a YouTube video. Not that I'm an expert, but I have made leaps and bounds since then. In regards to the camera, I bought right at the get-go, I got a GoPro 12, which in hindsight, again, I was just naive. It's not a criticism of the GoPro. It's a great camera. It's just it's an action camera, but it has its limitations. There is no zoom. That's a big one for me, and that's not GoPro's fault. It just shows how naive I was when I bought the camera, but there's no zoom. So I go for a lot of walks in the forest, and pretty much on every one of those walks, I'll see something, a deer, a fox, or something interesting kind of off in the distance that I'd love to film. And there's no point in doing it with the GoPro because it's just too far away. You don't get the clarity that you would like. So if I would go back in time, I probably would get a better camera or maybe a second camera that has some type of zoom. The other thing that I learned quite quickly, and I think anybody that has a GoPro knows this, that anytime there's any kind of wind outside or a breeze, it really messes with the microphone on these GoPros. You really hear that wind noise. So you basically have to invest in some additional equipment, which I've recently done. In fact, it was just the other day. So I've got what they call the media mod that goes on the outside of the GoPro. It's kind of got an external speaker. And if you can see right here, this fuzzy little thing here, I have a wireless microphone that's an add-on. So that should definitely help to reduce some of the wind noise you may have noticed in some of my past videos. As far as other technology, drones, a lot of YouTubers use drones and have drones. I don't really see that in my future. I can't rule it out, but I don't think that it's anything that I would need or anything I would use. I may invest in a camera that's got a zoom on it. They're not cheap if you want to get a good one, a Sony or a Canon, but maybe I can find something used. And as far as editing my videos, really I use Clipchamp, again, just because I didn't really know what else to use. It's what Microsoft offers. I think I pay an extra fee each month so I can upload in 4K, but I'm sure there's better programs out there, but that's what I use from a technology standpoint. As far as content, obviously channels and videos are all about content. Some of them are off-grid cabin living or homesteading or pet tricks or gardening or cooking. It doesn't really matter, but it all really boils down to content. And obviously some content is a little more interesting to most viewers than other content. Obviously the content that I have in my videos, if any of you have seen from the views, I haven't gone viral, put it that way, which is okay with me. A few of my videos have done okay. Other videos that I thought were really going to do well didn't do well at all. And it's a little bit confusing, which leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about is the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. And that's just a sophisticated set of logic that YouTube has in place to kind of monitor how videos perform, and based on that data, how to recommend. So when you log into YouTube, when you're watching the video that I'm filming right now, they're tracking that. They're tracking how long you've stayed on the video before you clicked off, which I realize a lot of you may have already clicked off at this point. But nonetheless, this algorithm tracks that. And where it becomes more important is they have recommended, or the video that they recommend that you watch next. Or when you log in, you have a home button. And you'll see all of these lists of videos that YouTube is recommending that you watch based on what you've watched in the past, but also based on the statistics from this algorithm. So where I'm going with it is, if I post a video today and the first 10 viewers that click on that video click off of the video within, let's say, 10 seconds, that's basically killing the video. That's YouTube is saying, look, there's something wrong with this video, people aren't interested. So what it does, it moves it to the bottom of the list. It's still in the list, but it's way at the bottom where nobody's going to see it. And I suspect that's maybe what's happening to some of my videos. Again, some of my videos have done surprisingly quite well. I've said many, many times in the past, for any of you who've seen my past videos, is I don't do this for the views. I really don't. It's a hobby. I enjoy it. But I don't want to say I don't care if I don't get views. Obviously, you care. Why won't anybody watch my videos? If I don't get 500 views on my latest video, I'm going to make Pippa the Yorkie sleep outside all winter. Is that really what you want? I don't expect to get thousands of views, but I really honestly expected that I would get more. You would think that there'd have to be 100 or 200 or 300 viewers out there that would maybe want to watch what I put out there. Most people don't find it interesting at all. As a side note, I did recently change the name of my channel, not so much to gain views, but just to make it a little less specific. My old name was An American in Lithuania, which is factual. I'm an American who lives in Lithuania, but it's too specific, and if you did a search on that, you'd get other videos that, show an American tourist that spent a day in Lithuania. You wouldn't see my video because it's at the bottom of the list. And that's sort of the problem with the algorithm. And again, it's not a criticism of YouTube. I understand why they do it. They want to put the most popular videos in front of the viewers. The problem is, the channels like mine just constantly stay at the bottom of the list. So it's the old paradox of, you're not going to get to the top of the list until you get more views, but you're not going to get those views if you're at the bottom of the list. It's kind of, again, a paradox. But nonetheless, views or no views, I love doing it. It's been a wonderful thing. Let me check my timer here. Yeah, I'm starting to creep up on time here. Let me check my list. The other thing, back to this algorithm, is YouTube is changing a lot. Just in the last couple of years, 2 years ago, most YouTube viewers were watching on a smartphone, sitting on their toilet at home, or sitting in a bus station, waiting for a bus, scrolling through. Nowadays, things have changed. People, and when I say people, I mean like families, are sitting down in front of a big screen television in their living room on a Saturday night and watching YouTube. And that's a good thing, but it's changing how things work. YouTube is now essentially competing with network TV and cable TV, and YouTube is changing their rules because of that. So a lot of these channels are becoming big production deals, almost like a regular TV show, not just a guy and a camera. The other thing that's becoming quite popular is what they call shorts, these short little videos that run from 5 seconds up to a minute, but generally they're 30 seconds or less. I might try to pump a few of those out, not so much because that's the trend or I want views, but it's easy to do a short. You don't really have to do a lot of editing, etc. The other thing I wanted to mention is AI, or artificial intelligence. That is just taking over YouTube faster than you can blink an eye. Obviously, AI is the future, whether it's YouTube or anything else. But, you know, some of these videos, you can tell that they're computer generated or AI, but it's still pretty early on in that whole technology. I'd say a year from now or 2, 3 years from now, you might not know the difference when you're watching a video, whether it's AI or whether it's filmed by a real person. I'm not sure where I stand on that. I mean, as long as it's entertaining, who really cares? But I personally like to watch videos that are real people and real content with no AI or computer generated. I will promise you in my channel, there will never be any artificial intelligence. There may not be any kind of intelligence in any of my videos, haha. But I'll wrap things up. I've checked my timer. I've gone a little long. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. You know, please watch the video and give small guys like me a chance. You know, just because you're not hooked in the first 5 seconds, give it 30 seconds or a minute. You might find something interesting. But nonetheless, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.